And we've had people come up from West Texas, from South Texas. One buddy, Bruce Williams, where he hunts, if he can see a lot, it just kind of mentally psychs him out. We're about to go hunt some people's backyards. We're going to be about a quarter mile outside the city limits, be a couple hundred yards away from a couple hundred houses. It's suburban hunting at your finest.
Have we ever had a coyote literally walk into the call like a bobcat, and then after he's done that, go and sit down on his butt at 30 yards and just smile?
The way he was coming in and bouncing, there was no doubt in my mind that we had called up a cat.
I've always felt like if you want to call it a suburban coyote, to me, they're some of the most aggressive coyotes out there.
The night is the one true side of hunting left yet to be explored. And as far as I'm concerned, there's no right or wrong way to hunt at night. All we did is take the funnest sport on the planet, and we did it our way. We are all complete addicts. And if anybody tried to come and tell us we had to stop, good luck with that. There's a coyote who can only be found near towns like the one I call home. He is the only coyote who can hear the sounds of our everyday life, just about every day, and has conditioned himself to survive a parallel existence alongside you and I, right in our backyard. He's the kind other hunters often pass right on by, looking out of town, not recognizing the gold mine living right under their nose. He can be found behind just about every local Walmart or subdivision, and has made a name for himself around here as the one we can count on the most, because he is the suburban coyote.
I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm getting tired of getting busted. You know, those coyotes, they won't come into a light once we hit them with the light, so let me drop you off at the fence. You scope it out and see if there's any visitors in there, and let's try something completely different. There's nothing that says that you got to kill them all with a light.
You did learn something when you went to South Dakota, huh?
Thanks, James.
There are so many different ways a person can enjoy hunting at night. I've often sat back and wondered, exactly who was it that decided the only way to be a legitimate predator hunter was to only be the best predator caller you could possibly be? To make myself abundantly clear, we love calling predators, but it's only a part of what we do. Night Crew is not a show just about calling predators at night. It's a show about all the night has to offer, to let the world see firsthand how much fun we really have. There is always more than one way to skin a cat, and using a game call is merely just scratching the surface of what's really out there. Any predator caller who thinks they wouldn't get a rush out of something as simple as walking up on a coyote unannounced to less than 20 yards, trying not to get busted, has without question never tried it. Let me tell you guys something. Your heart will pound like it never has before. Hunting certain coyotes near town presents its own unique challenges that at certain times of the year can prove a versatile night hunter to be a much more effective killer than a hunter trying to force using a call to kill coyotes who are clearly wise to the game. Don't get me wrong. Calling is such a powerful and effective tool that we will always embrace as the foundation of what we do. But It still has its time, and it still has its place. This was our first attempt to see just how close we could get to a coyote, so we headed to a place feet from the city limits. The coyotes in this area are literally the smartest ones we deal with every year, for various reasons. And the likelihood of us rolling in there night crew style, with a truck-mounted white light, and getting away with it this late in the season were probably less than 10%, so we decided to throw them a curve.
Is he still there?
Yeah, she's down there on that hay.
I say we just walk right down the road and try to put that tractor equipment in between us and him.
We may bump those cows, but that's our only shot at getting close to her. Let's give it a shot.
The only thing we had to put between us and the coyote was some old farm equipment, and that allowed us to get within 100 yards undetected. But after that, it was all up to Jared to close the distance. And I remember thinking to myself, if that coyote turns and looks at him just one time, he is so busted. All was going according to plan up to this point, and then for whatever reason, his head pops up and he turns and looks right at him. I thought, well, that's the end of that. But no, this party was just getting started. As Jared began to inch his way closer and closer, I thought, this is amazing. How could this get any better? And then this happens. Jared has gotten within 50 yards of this coyote, and the last 20 feet of his stalk was something neither of us will ever forget. His goal was to make it to the fence, which would put him about 20 yards or less from the target. All I can say is I'm glad we both have a lot of patience, because those last 60 foot or so took forever. It seemed like an eternity, but neither of us had anywhere else to be but right there. Jared nails him on his first shot, but shows me again why he's still the best shot I've ever hunted with.
Believe that settles that.
There is no doubt this one experience gave us a completely different outlook on the way we approach more educated coyotes down the road. It's kind of like this. If you beat your head against the wall enough times, it will eventually bleed. The first few times it may sting a little, but after a while it's gonna really hurt. And until it's had enough time to heal, you probably won't continue beating your head against the wall, if you've got any sense. The same basic principle applies to calling and spotlighting educated coyotes over and over with diminishing results. Each attempt just makes them smarter and smarter until they eventually won't respond at all. The moral to the story is don't be the guy beating your head against the wall and then wonder why your head hurts.
I've always looked at like the thermal night vision guys with no ill will or anything towards them, but it was kind of like, man, anybody can do that. But, you know, with the right equipment, it's not cheap, but you get the right equipment and being able to get in there on them and see it crystal clear, good conditions. Dude, this is addictive. This is almost as addictive as the big lights. Man, whenever she was howling and I was like 50 yards away, oh my God. I was grinning from ear to ear.
That was so freaking cool.
It's fun. You get close to them, like whenever we call them up and we get them close to the truck, and like that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
But to like get up on them,
To get that close in their natural environment and you're seeing them in their own element. They're not coming to a call, they're just being a coyote. To be able to witness that and then capture it on video of him howling like that, that's just, I'll never forget that. That's so freaking cool.
heck yeah. I doubt we'll ever have that happen exactly that way again, but I'll never forget the one time it did happen. Making memories. It's good stuff.
Making memories with my best friend, for me, is truly what it's all about. And that is something you simply can't put a price tag on.
Good stuff.
Have we ever had a coyote walk in like a bobcat and actually sit down on his butt?
I can't remember a time we've ever had one sit down on his butt at 30 yards.
Hunting this area for so long has given us a ton of local knowledge, which helps us better know how to hunt each individual place at certain points in the year to help our odds for success. Each place is different, so we make decisions on when and how to hunt each place based on what we've learned in the past.
We're actually on our way over to this little spot we've got. It's a small spot. Most people would overlook it. They wouldn't even think twice about hunting it, but I don't think I can say enough about getting in close to houses. I mean, it flat out holds critters. A lot of times where we hunt this, we have pretty good success rate on the bobcats. Usually, we'll at least have one look at us. You know, we can't guarantee that we're going to get a cat out of it, but you know, the coyotes, we've killed some, but usually they kind of come in real quick. They're in and out. Usually try and circle for wind. I mean, heck, you just never know what you're going to get. But the excitement level is way up there whenever we finally decide to come over and hunt this spot. So we're going to hopefully put something down. Start the night off right anyways.
If there was one single spot we've been able to count on each year, this is it. It doesn't look like much and is only about 50 acres, but let me tell you, for whatever reason, it flat out holds predators and they like coming to a call.
Chris. Right there.
This big mature coyote was in no hurry and put on a show the whole way in. You know, Jared and I have hunted and filmed together so long, we pretty much only have to say bust him or shoot him on every animal to prevent needless talking during our stands. Well, somehow the lines of communication on this coyote was a complete train wreck. And to this day, I can't believe he hung around as long as he did with all that racket.
Shoot him. Shoot him. Kill him. Shoot him.
Oh my gosh, did you see the look on his face? Holy crap.
He heard me talking to you.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't hear you.
What in the world? He heard me tell you to kill him 3 times before you did.
I just heard you go, kill him. I'm like, okay. Dude, I didn't hear anything until I heard you just tell him, like, kill him. Well, heck, I'm used to you making me wait to milking him for all he's worth.
Well, let's go ahead and turn those lights on right there.
All right.
There's a reason this spot is one of our favorites, and that's for its undeniable track record.
Hey, it produces consistently. Heck, there he is right there. The kill shot of the year. He ain't far at all.
Have we ever had a coyote come in and sit down on his butt at 30 yards?
Not that I can recall. He ain't a first year either. He ain't a young pup. People think we hunt uneducated coyotes. Per capita, it is ridiculous how many predator hunters we have in this area. I'll tell you what, this place flat out produces, and most people would drive right past it.
In fact, these are the kind of places we welcome with open arms and seek out on a regular basis, because we've learned over time there's always a predator close by willing to come to our call.
One of the things that we've really tried to convey is that if you've got places that are near town or near subdivisions, as a crow flies, there's a subdivision with probably over 200 houses in it, less than, 300 yards from here? 200 yards maybe?
Yeah.
These animals, they get accustomed to cars going by, lights, hearing people talking. There's swimming pools over the back fence back there where I'm sure people are having parties and making all kinds of racket, but a coyote, this coyote, I guarantee you, that's a 3 or 4 year old coyote, easy. And there's no telling how many years this thing has been here and has heard that his whole life.
Right.
I don't know if you heard me tell you to shoot. I think you had your hood over the top of your head and I was saying, bust him, bust him.
I was about to turn around and ask you what you were saying.
Oh, I wasn't whistling Dixie or nothing over there.
It's like you to make me wait. And like, we're gonna milk it, we're gonna milk it, we're gonna milk it. Finally I heard you say, bust him.
I was like, will you shoot that thing? What was funny is whenever he sat down, he was looking around him trying to figure out what all these shadows and stuff were, I guess. And because you weren't hearing me, I was having to get louder and louder and louder to tell you to shoot. And there was one point where he kind of cocked his head, kind of like, what was that? And then about that time, it was, I guess, about the same time you heard me tell you to shoot.
Man, let's get him loaded up. Let's head on to the next.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you take that one. That's awesome.
Never gets old.
No?
Never has, never will.
Yeah.
Let's do this till the day we die.
I'm pretty confident that's gonna happen, Jared. Suburban Coyotes at its finest.
I would like to personally thank all of the fine sponsors that made Night Crew possible. as well as all of the great fans who have shown us so much support along the way. I'm Chris Robinson signing off for Season 1 of Night Crew. But just remember, this is only the beginning of our story.